There's a lot of reasons people might think of Riese as the optimal zombies map. And I don't mean the giant. If you ask me personally, they kinda lost the plot going forward with newer zombies. Everybody loves to say that Origins and Black Ops 3 is where it all started to go downhill, like that was the best part, and it just all went downhill from there. I'm gonna say no, because I didn't like Shadows of Evil. So for me, it would definitely be Origins. But let's go back to the topic at hand. Riese is a pretty good map. It's not too cramped. There's quite a lot of different areas to train zombies. It has a song that you can find. There's Easter eggs. And if you do end up getting trapped, there's 3 different locations you can use to get out of trouble. The only caveat is you have to pay 1,500 points to use them every time, and then link them again. But it's really not that bad. I think it really comes down to the fact that out of the original 4 maps, Nocturne, Toten, Shidonuma, Riese, and Verrucht, Verrucht is cramped. Nobody can do anything on Verrucht. Verrucht is basically World at Wars 5. Shidonuma, nobody really liked getting bogged down by the water. The traps are really cool in Shidonuma, but it was just a little bit harder. And then Noct is, well, cramped, although it is the very original map, so there's definitely a little bit of sentiment there. However, out of the original 4, Riese is the most open. It has the most you can do with, and people who like story, it has radios. So whenever it really comes down to it, Riese is kind of like the Nuketown of zombies. Especially considering Treyarch bringing it back like, what, 2 or 3 times? Because they brought it back for Black Ops, and then they brought it back for Chronicles. And they also brought it back for Black Ops 3. So that's at least 3 times. Now, I won't lie, having Riese be snowy is a fucking vibe. However, I just don't like the newer crew. I don't like the push towards Easter egg, or not Easter eggs, but just having to do shit for the sake of doing shit. There used to be just regular voice lines, but as zombies went on, like, the further it went on, you had to, like, actually do shit to progress more into the map and, like, unlock shit, and it's crazy, dude. For an older zombies player, none of us want to do that shit, man. Okay, I'm talking War at War, Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2, maybe a little bit of Black Ops 3. For fuck's sake. For us, zombies is getting points, using those points to open a door or remove debris. In other words, playing the game and advancing through the map that way. That doesn't mean sliding a brick 3 centimeters to the right, turning around in a circle 20 times without fucking up once, and mag dumping into the ceiling to open a door, you know? The absolute only thing that I can 100% get behind is the fact that they've kept Kevin Sherwood on for so long, because he's been there, man, since the beginning. And I think they really appreciate that, otherwise they would have let him go. Listening to his music is always a banger, dude. Especially for like fucking what, like 20 years now? 18 years? And he's still doing it, man. Now, if you're gonna ask me, man, zombies started to fucking lose it the moment they had to fucking what was it, man? They had a slideshow cutscene. It wasn't a cutscene, it was literally just like a storyboard or some shit, you know? Come on. Even Black Ops 2 had a couple of features that never really came back. You know, what was it? I think it was called Grief or some shit, where 2 teams of players would fight against each other or compete against each other. That was interesting. And on Transit, you had to build shit to get out of the bus station in the first place. Nothing horrible, but it definitely like laid the foundation for things to come. We'll just say that, okay? And if you really want to make the argument that the writing was on the wall in the first place, you can, because Moon was the penultimate map of fucking Black Ops 1. Back in the day, people were spending hours trying to figure this shit out. And it did take hours. But you know what? It wasn't even that bad. Okay? And it didn't happen on every map, which is the more important thing. If you wanted to play it simply, you could. If you wanted to do the Easter egg, you could. You didn't have to. There wasn't an obligation to do it in order to progress. And now with the original crew, the voice actors, retiring from the crew, so to speak, it's all become a little bit more bittersweet in recent memory. Thankfully, though, the games will always be there to experience. And to be honest, having played them recently, they haven't aged that badly. Of course, I'll always appreciate Black Ops 1's variety of weapons compared to what it was, but those are just semantics for me. The Riese really had a lot of different things going for it. I mean, this was back whenever the fan base would like make conspiracies and shit because we had nothing to go on besides the radios and maybe a couple like writing, like literally like shit you'd have to look in the map to find. You had to be like actually attentive and shit while you were playing the game. It was different, okay? It was simpler. I don't want to keep saying that word, but that's what it was. It was nothing too crazy, but just the right amount of crazy. Do I have to be forced to acknowledge that every time a game comes out, there has to be a little bit of change in order, you don't want to buy the same game 20 million times. Yeah, of course. But you can handle shit a certain way. Okay, you can do shit differently and not fuck it up. Jason Blundell fucked shit up. That is my firm opinion on the matter. Now, I'm not necessarily. It's not the original crew that I have a hard on for. I didn't mind the 5 crew. I didn't mind the transit crew, Black Ops 2. I didn't mind them. Okay. To be truthful, anything is an improvement over the voiceless Marines from World at War. Maybe I just didn't like the serious tone Ultimus had. Actually, I can't even remember what they're fucking called anymore. The Black Ops 2 and Black Ops 3 and so on versions, not the older crew. It's not that I don't mind the serious tone, it's just the switch up in the first place. It went from comedy to serious so quickly. It went from having fun, enjoying yourself, to solving a fucking Rubik's Cube to turn on the power, In some ways, it's sad to think about, but I really haven't engaged with zombies in years. Now, if any of you play VR and you've played Contractors or Pavlov, you might notice that any of the Call of Duty Zombies maps, well, they're all older. I wonder why that is. But that could just be conjecture.